Hello there, and welcome aboard the Sleepy Porter. I'm so glad you found your way here tonight. Maybe it's been a long day. Maybe your mind is still busy, still turning over everything behind you. Either way, you can set all of that down now. You have nowhere to be, and nothing to do but rest. Tonight, we're not sailing the open seas. Tonight, we're journeying together to a single beautiful country, Japan. We'll wander slowly through its quiet places, across all its gentle seasons. Misty temples and mossy gardens, lantern-lit streets in the evening, steam rising from a hot spring in the falling snow, and cherry blossoms drifting softly onto still water. We won't rush, and we won't go anywhere troubling. We'll simply drift from one peaceful place to the next, gathering a little stillness as we go. You don't need to remember any of it. Just let me carry you along. Some of these places you may know. Some you may be seeing for the very first time, somewhere behind your eyes. And before we set off, if these quiet journeys help you unwind, you're always welcome to like the video and subscribe. It helps other restless travelers find their way aboard too, one sleepy soul at a time. And I'd love to know, where in the world are you listening from tonight? Whatever the hour where you are welcome here. So settle in, let your shoulders soften, let your breathing slow, let your body grow heavy and warm. And let's begin, gently, in Japan. We begin in the soft light of early morning, beside a calm lake at the foot of Mount Fuji. The water of Lake Kawaguchi lies perfectly still, and rising beyond it, alone and serene, is the great snow-capped cone of Fuji itself, mirrored flawlessly on the glassy surface. The air is cool and clear, and a faint mist drifts low over the water. The mountain glows the palest pink as the first light touches its snow. There is no sound here but the quiet of the dawn. To stand at the edge of this still lake, watching Japan's most sacred mountain wake slowly in the soft light, doubled perfectly on the calm water, is to feel a deep and ancient peace settle gently over you. Now we travel to the hills above Kyoto, to a path of 1,000 gates. At the shrine of Fushimi Inari, row upon row of vermilion wooden torii gates stand close together, forming long, glowing tunnels that wind up through the quiet forest of the mountainside. You walk slowly beneath them, the soft red light filtering all around you, the gates stretching on ahead and behind in an endless, gentle corridor. The forest is hushed and cool, the air still. Each gate frames the next, and the next, leading you softly upward through the trees. There is no hurry. There is only the quiet rhythm of the gates, one after another, and the deep green calm of the mountain, drawing you gently into stillness. Now it is spring, and we wander along a quiet canal in Kyoto, beneath clouds of cherry blossom. This is the Philosopher's Path, a gentle stone walkway that follows a narrow stream, lined on both sides with cherry trees in full and glorious bloom. The blossoms hang in soft pink masses overhead, and now and then a few petals loosen and drift down, turning slowly in the still air, settling on the surface of the water to float quietly away. The light is soft and warm. The stream murmurs gently beside you. There is a tender, fleeting beauty to this place in spring, a sweetness that knows it cannot last, and you walk slowly through the falling petals, breathing softly, utterly at peace. Now we come to one of the most beautiful temples in all of Japan, the Golden Pavilion. Kinkakuji stands at the edge of a calm, dark pond, its upper floors covered entirely in shimmering gold leaf, glowing softly against the deep green of the surrounding forest. The pond before it is utterly still, and the golden temple is mirrored upon it, doubled and shimmering on the quiet water. Small wooded islands rest in the pond, and the trees lean gently over the edge. The whole scene is balanced and serene and perfectly composed. To stand quietly before this glowing golden pavilion, watching it shine softly on the still water, is to feel the busy world fall away, leaving only beauty and silence and calm. Now night has fallen, high in the mountains, and we come to a quiet hot spring beneath the snow. Steam rises gently from a natural outdoor bath. A rotten bureau, set among snow-dusted rocks, and the warm water glows softly in the lamplight. All around, snow is falling, drifting down slow and silent through the dark, melting the moment it touches the warm water. You sink slowly into the hot, mineral-rich bath, the heat wrapping around you, easing every muscle, drawing the tension from your shoulders and your back and your legs. The cold air is soft on your face, and the snow falls quietly all around. There is nothing in all the world so soothing as this. Warm water, falling snow, and the deep, deep quiet of the winter mountains. Now it is dawn again, and we climb a little to a small pagoda on a hillside, looking out over the land toward Mount Fuji. From the Chureito Pagoda, a graceful 5-story tower of red and white, you gaze across a valley wreathed in soft morning mist, and there in the distance stands Fuji, perfect and serene, catching the first golden light. In spring, cherry blossoms frame the scene, their soft pink mingling with the red of the pagoda and the blue of the distant mountain. The air is cool and still. The town below is only just waking. To stand here in the quiet dawn, with the pagoda, the blossoms, and the sacred mountain all gathered softly before you, is to feel that you are looking at the very soul of Japan. Now we travel to a sacred island in a calm and sheltered bay, to see a gate that floats upon the sea. At Miyajima, the great torii gate of Itsukushima Shrine stands out in the shallow water, its vermilion pillars rising straight from the gentle tide. As the sun sets, the gate glows deep red against a sky of soft gold and rose, and its reflection wavers on the calm water below. The tide laps quietly around its base. Behind it, forested hills darken into evening. There is something deeply moving about this gate standing alone upon the sea, glowing in the last light, half in the water and half in the sky. You watch it quietly as the colors fade, and feel a gentle, peaceful awe settle over you. Now we wander into the old heart of Kyoto as evening falls, into the lantern-lit streets of Gion. Here, narrow lanes are lined with traditional wooden tea houses, their dark timber fronts glowing softly behind paper lanterns and warm hanging lights. The streets are quiet now, paved with old stone, and a faint, gentle music drifts from somewhere within. The light is soft and golden, pooling in the doorways and shimmering on the worn stones. The air is cool and still. To walk slowly through these hushed old streets in the evening, past the glowing lanterns and the dark wooden houses, is to feel as though you have stepped softly back in time, into an older, gentler, quieter Japan. Now we travel deep into the snowy mountains of central Japan, to the remote village of Shirakawa-go. Here, in a wide valley blanketed in deep winter snow, stand old farmhouses with steep thatched roofs, built in a style called gashozukuri, their roofs shaped like hands pressed together in prayer. Snow lies thick upon them, and soft golden light glows in their small windows as evening falls. Smoke rises gently from a chimney. The whole valley is hushed beneath the snow, the only sound the soft settling of it from the eaves. To stand among these ancient farmhouses in the falling snow, with their warm lights glowing and the mountains white all around, is to feel wrapped in a deep and timeless winter peace. Now it is autumn, and we come to a temple garden in Kyoto, ablaze with color. The maple trees here have turned brilliant shades of crimson and orange and gold, and their leaves glow like fire against the deep green of the moss and the dark wood of the temple. A small arched wooden bridge crosses a still pond, and the autumn trees lean over the water, doubled in its quiet surface. A few leaves drift slowly down to float upon the pond. The light is soft and warm, filtering through the colored leaves. To sit quietly on the temple veranda, gazing out at this garden of fire and gold and green, listening to the deep silence, is to feel the gentle, fleeting beauty of autumn settle softly into your heart. Now we travel to the city of Kanazawa, to one of the most celebrated gardens in all of Japan. Kenroku-en is a vast and ancient garden, designed over centuries to embody every quality a perfect garden should have. You wander slowly along its winding paths, past still ponds and gentle streams, beneath old pines, whose branches are held up by wooden supports, their needles dark green against the sky. Stone lanterns rest among the trees, soft with moss. Small waterfall murmurs somewhere nearby. Every view has been composed with the greatest care, and yet it all feels effortless and natural and serene. To walk slowly through this masterpiece of quiet beauty is to feel your own thoughts grow ordered and peaceful and still. Now we come to the shore of a calm mountain lake in Hakone, where another red torii gate stands at the water's edge. Lake Ashi lies still and deep beneath forested hills, and on a clear day the snow-capped peak of Fuji rises beyond it, mirrored on the quiet water. The torii gate stands half in the shallows, its vermilion glowing against the blue of the lake and the green of the hills. A soft mist drifts across the water. The air is cool and clean and smells of pine. To stand here on the quiet shore, with the red gate, the calm lake, and the distant sacred mountain all gathered before you in the soft light, is to feel a deep and gentle serenity flow slowly through you. Now we wander into a hidden garden carpeted entirely in soft green moss. In the quiet grounds of an old Kyoto temple, beneath a canopy of trees, the ground is covered in dozens of shades of velvety moss, soft and deep and glowing gently in the filtered light. A winding stone path leads you slowly through it, past mossy rocks and the trunks of ancient trees. The air is cool and damp and smells of earth and green growing things. Everything here is soft and silent and still. The moss muffles every sound, and the light falls gently green through the leaves above. To walk slowly through this quiet, cushioned world of green, breathing the cool, damp air, is to feel utterly soothed and softened and calm. Now it is spring again, and we come to a great white castle wrapped in clouds of cherry blossom. Himeji Castle rises in graceful tiers of brilliant white, its curved roofs sweeping elegantly upward, set against a soft blue sky. All around its base, cherry trees bloom in soft pink abundance, so that the gleaming white castle seems to float upon a sea of blossom. The petals drift gently on the breeze. The castle is calm and serene, a thing of perfect, balanced beauty, watching quietly over the city, as it has for centuries. To stand among the blossoms, gazing up at this magnificent white castle floating in a cloud of pink and soft blue sky, is to feel your breath slow and your heart grow quiet with wonder. Now we step inside a traditional tea house into the gentle world of the tea ceremony. The room is small and simple, floored with soft tatami mats, its sliding paper screens opened just enough to reveal a quiet garden of moss and stone outside. Everything here is calm and ordered and unhurried. The slow, graceful movements of preparing the tea, the soft sound of water, the quiet of the room. All of it is designed to bring a deep and peaceful stillness to the mind. The light falls soft and golden through the paper screens. You kneel quietly on the tatami, the gentle ritual unfolding slowly before you, and feel every hurried thought begin to settle and grow calm, like dust drifting slowly to the floor. Now we travel to the seaside town of Kamakura, to a quiet grove of bamboo behind an old temple. Here, in a small and peaceful garden, tall green bamboo stalks rise close together toward the sky, their slender trunks forming a soft green screen, their leaves filtering the sunlight into a gentle, shifting green glow. A narrow stone path winds among them, and at the edge of the grove, a small tea house looks out over the green. The air is cool and quiet, and the bamboo sways ever so gently, with a soft, rustling whisper high above. To sit here at the edge of the bamboo, wrapped in soft green light, listening to the gentle whisper of the leaves, is to feel wonderfully calm and quiet and at ease. Now we climb high onto a sacred mountain, to the misty forest of Koyasan. In the ancient grounds of Okinoen, a vast and peaceful forest of towering cedar trees rises into the mist, and beneath them stand countless old stone monuments and lanterns, soft and grey with centuries of moss. A quiet stone path winds among them, dappled with gentle light. The great cedars soar upward, their trunks immense and ancient, and the mist drifts slowly between them. The air is cool and still and fragrant with cedar and moss. There is a deep, sacred hush to this place, a silence that feels older than memory. And as you walk slowly through the misty forest of stone and cedar, you feel your mind grow quiet and reverent and calm. Now we travel far north to the hills of Hokkaido, to a strange and beautiful pond. Hidden among bare, pale trees, the blue pond glows the most extraordinary shade of soft turquoise, its still surface a milky, luminous blue unlike any other water you have seen. The slender white trunks of dead trees rise straight from the pond, perfectly reflected on its calm surface. There is no wind, and the water lies utterly still. The light is soft and grey, and the whole scene has a quiet, dreamlike, otherworldly beauty. To stand at the edge of this glowing blue pond, in the soft northern light, gazing at the pale trees doubled on the still turquoise water, is to feel as though you have wandered gently into a dream. Now it is late spring, and we come to a garden of cascading wisteria. Here, great trellises hold up curtains of wisteria in full bloom, and from them hang countless long clusters of soft purple and white flowers, cascading down like a gentle rain frozen in the air. You walk slowly beneath a tunnel of them, the hanging blossoms brushing softly overhead, the air sweet with their faint perfume, the light filtering purple and gold through the flowers. A few petals drift slowly down. The whole world here is soft and fragrant and impossibly beautiful. To walk slowly beneath these falling curtains of purple blossom, wrapped in their gentle color and their sweet, quiet scent, is to feel utterly soothed and softened and calm. Now we wander into the green heart of rural Japan in early summer, to a village of terraced rice fields. Here, on the gentle slopes of a quiet valley, the rice paddies rise in stepped terraces, each one a shallow pool of water reflecting the soft sky above. The young rice is a tender, vivid green, and the still water mirrors the clouds and the pale blue heavens perfectly. A few old wooden farmhouses rest among the fields. The air is warm and humid, and smells of water and green growing things. The only sound is the soft trickle of water moving slowly from one terrace to the next. To stand among these mirrored green fields in the soft summer light, watching the sky reflected in the quiet water, is to feel a deep and simple peace. Now night falls, and we come to a cozy, hot spring town nestled in a mountain valley. At Kurokawa Onsen, old wooden inns line a small river that runs gently through the heart of the town. And as evening comes, soft lanterns and warm lights flicker on along its banks. Steam rises here and there from the many baths, drifting gently into the cool night air. The river murmurs quietly over its stones, and the warm lights glow on the dark water. The whole town is hushed and peaceful, wrapped in steam and lamplight, and the deep quiet of the mountains. To wander these gentle, lamplit lanes in the evening, the river softly murmuring, the steam drifting up into the dark, is to feel completely, wonderfully at rest. Now we travel to the forested mountains north of Tokyo, to the shrines of Nikko. A long avenue of immense, ancient cedar trees leads the way, their great trunks rising on either side, their canopy soft and high above. The path is cool and dim and dappled with gentle green light. Among the trees rest old shrines and stone lanterns, soft with moss, and a quiet stream runs nearby. The air is cool and fragrant with cedar. The great trees have stood here for centuries, vast and patient and serene. To walk slowly along this ancient avenue of giants, the green light filtering softly down, the deep forest hushed all around, is to feel small and safe and deeply at peace beneath the old and watchful trees. Now we climb a quiet mountain in the north to a temple perched high among the rocks. At Yamadera, a long stone stairway winds upward through a forest of cedar, climbing gently past small wooden shrines and weathered stone lanterns, deeper and higher into the misty trees. The air grows cooler and clearer as you climb, and the forest hushes around you. Near the top, an old wooden temple clings to the rocky slope, looking out over a soft sea of mist-wrapped mountains far below. The only sound is the wind moving gently through the cedars. To stand here at last, high above the valley, the mist drifting softly through the trees, the world spread out quiet and grey below, is to feel a deep and peaceful stillness fill your chest. Now we come to the city of Matsumoto, to a beautiful old castle reflected in its moat. Matsumoto Castle is built in deep, lustrous black, its tiers of dark wood and white plaster rising elegantly against the sky, with the snow-capped peaks of the Japan Alps standing far beyond. A calm, wide moat surrounds it, and on its still surface, the black castle is mirrored perfectly, doubled upon the quiet water. A small red bridge arches across the moat. The water lies utterly still. to stand at the edge of the moat in the soft light, gazing at this elegant black castle floating upon its own reflection, with the white mountains rising behind, is to feel a quiet admiration and a deep and settling calm. Now we journey into the Japan Alps, to a hidden valley of clear water and soaring peaks. At Kamikochi, a gentle river winds through a high mountain valley, and there, a still pool called Taisho Pond lies perfectly calm, mirroring the snow-streaked peaks and the pale dead trees that rise from its waters. The dawn light is soft and cool. A faint mist drifts over the water. The river runs clear and quiet over its pale stones, and the great mountains stand silent and serene all around. The air is crisp and clean, and smells of cold water and pine. To stand beside this still alpine pond in the quiet of the early morning, the peaks doubled on the calm water, is to feel the deep, clean, untouched peace of the high mountains. Now we travel far to the south, to the warm subtropical islands of Okinawa. Here, the busy mainland feels very far away, and the sea is a brilliant, clear turquoise lapping gently at beaches of soft white coral sand. Palms lean over the shore, and the warm water glows in shades of aqua and jade beneath a soft blue sky. The gentle waves slide quietly up the sand and slip away again, slow and unhurried. The air is warm and soft, and smells of salt and flowers. There is a gentler, slower rhythm of life here, in Japan's tropical south, far from the snow and the temples of the north. To rest on this warm white shore, watching the calm turquoise sea, is to feel completely soothed and warm and at ease. Now we step into one of the oldest and most magical forests in all of Japan, on the island of Yakushima. Here, ancient cedar trees, some of them thousands of years old, rise from a deep green world of moss. Everything is soft and green and damp, the rocks and roots and fallen trunks all cushioned in thick glowing moss, and a soft rain falls gently through the canopy, dripping quietly from leaf to leaf. Pale mist drifts between the great trees. The light is soft and green and dim. The whole forest feels alive and ancient and deeply, sacredly quiet. To stand within this primeval green world, the soft rain falling, the moss glowing all around, the ancient trees rising into the mist, is to feel that you have stepped into the gentle, breathing heart of the earth itself. Now we come at last to rest in a traditional inn, a ryokan, at the end of a long and peaceful day. Your room is simple and serene, floored with soft tatami mats that smell faintly of fresh straw. Sliding paper screens, the shoji, glow softly with the evening light, and one stands open to reveal a small, perfect garden of moss and stone outside. A low table rests in the center of the room, and in the corner a soft futon has been laid out upon the floor, ready for sleep. The air is calm and warm and quiet. Everything here is simple and gentle and unhurried. To kneel in this peaceful room, the paper screens glowing softly, the garden quiet beyond, the bed waiting, is to feel that the whole day has led, at last, to rest. Now we travel to the green hills near Mount Fuji, to the rolling terraces of a tea plantation. Here, neat rows of tea bushes curve gently over the hillsides, in soft, rounded waves of vivid green, stretching away toward the distant mountain. The bushes are trimmed into smooth, flowing lines, and in the soft morning light, they glow a deep and living green. Beyond them, serene and snow-capped, rises Fuji, watching quietly over the fields. The air is fresh and cool and smells of green leaves and earth. A gentle breeze moves softly over the tea. To stand among these flowing green terraces in the quiet morning, the sacred mountain rising in the distance, is to feel a clean, calm, and simple peace settle gently over you. Now it is the very edge of spring, when winter still lingers, and we come to a shrine garden where the plum trees are in bloom. The ume blossoms have opened before the cherry, soft pink and white, and deep rose against the bare, dark branches. The first gentle sign that the long winter is ending. A faint, sweet fragrance drifts on the cool air. An old stone lantern rests among the trees, and a small shrine stands quietly beyond. The light is soft and pale. There is a tender hopefulness to these early blossoms, opening bravely in the cold, and as you walk slowly among them, breathing their sweet, faint scent, you feel something soft and quiet and hopeful stir gently within you. Now we travel to a great seaside park in spring, to a hillside that has turned entirely blue. At Hitachi, Seaside Park, gentle rolling hills are covered in millions of tiny sky-blue nemophila flowers, so that the slopes seem to flow seamlessly up into the soft blue sky above, blue meeting blue, until you can hardly tell where the earth ends and the heavens begin. A winding path leads gently up through the sea of blue flowers. The light is soft and clear, and a gentle breeze moves over the blossoms. To stand on this hillside, surrounded entirely by soft blue flowers flowing up into a soft blue sky, is to feel as though you are floating gently in a quiet, weightless world of blue, calm and dreamlike and serene. Now we set out along an ancient pilgrimage path, deep into the misty forests of the Kii Peninsula. The Kumano Kodo is a network of old trails that pilgrims have walked for over 1,000 years, winding through deep cedar forest, past mossy stone shrines and quiet waysides. The path is worn smooth by countless gentle footsteps, climbing softly over the wooded hills, and a faint mist drifts among the tall, straight trunks of the cedars. The forest is hushed and cool and fragrant. Now and then, a small stone shrine appears beside the path, soft with moss. To walk slowly along this ancient sacred way, following the footsteps of 1,000 years of quiet pilgrims, the mist drifting softly through the trees, is to feel held in a deep and timeless peace. Now it is winter, and we come to a small Zen garden under a blanket of fresh snow. The careful raked gravel, the moss, the placed stones, the small trimmed shrubs, all of it lies softened and silenced now beneath a smooth layer of pure white snow. The garden is utterly still. No footprints mark the snow. The dark wood of the temple frames the white garden, and a single bare branch is outlined delicately against the grey winter sky. The silence here is profound, the deep, cushioned silence that only fresh snow can bring. To sit quietly on the temple veranda, gazing out at this small, perfect garden hushed beneath the snow, is to feel a stillness so deep and so pure that every thought within you grows quiet and falls gently still. Now we travel to the far north, to a gentle forest stream in Aomori. The Oirasi stream runs clear and quiet through a deep mossy forest, tumbling softly over smooth, dark rocks, gathering in still green pools, and slipping gently on among the trees. In autumn, the leaves above turn brilliant red and gold, and they drift slowly down to rest upon the moss and float upon the clear water. Everything here is soft and green and damp, the rocks and banks all cushioned in glowing moss. The gentle sound of the moving water is endless and soothing. To walk slowly along this quiet, mossy stream, the clear water murmuring beside you, the autumn leaves drifting softly down, is to feel your every worry carried gently away on the moving water. Now we come to a quiet fishing village on the calm shore of the Sea of Japan. At Ine, old wooden boathouses called funaya line the edge of a sheltered bay, built right out over the water so that each house has its own small mooring beneath it. The bay is calm and still, ringed by forested hills, and the wooden houses are doubled softly on its quiet surface. A few small boats rest at their moorings. The light is soft and golden in the late afternoon. The only sound is the gentle lapping of the water beneath the houses. There is a deep, simple, timeless peace to this old village by the sea, and to gaze across the calm bay at the weathered wooden houses resting on the still water is to feel wonderfully, quietly content. Now we return to the temples, to a graceful 5-story pagoda rising from a misty forest at dawn. The pagoda climbs in elegant tiers, each roof curving gently upward, dark wood against the pale morning sky. And around its base, the forest is wrapped in soft, drifting mist. The first light is gentle and grey, and the pagoda seems to float quietly above the mist, serene and timeless. No one else is here. The air is cool and still. A faint bird song drifts somewhere far off, then fades. To stand quietly in the misty dawn, gazing up at this ancient tower rising softly from the clouds, watching the gentle light grow slowly brighter, is to feel the deep, patient calm of 1,000 quiet mornings settle gently over you. Now it is the very height of spring, and we come to a still canal where the cherry blossoms are falling. The trees along the water are heavy with blossom, and a soft breeze stirs them, loosening countless petals that drift slowly down through the air, turning and floating, settling at last upon the calm surface of the water. The petals gather on the canal in soft pink drifts, and the gentle current carries them slowly away. The light is warm and soft. There is no sound but the faint rustle of the blossoms above. To stand here, watching the petals fall and float and drift slowly past upon the quiet water, is to feel the tender, fleeting beauty of the moment, and to let it carry your thoughts softly away, like petals upon a gentle stream. Now we travel to the coast of Totori, to a vast and surprising landscape of sand. Here, great dunes of soft, pale sand rise and roll along the shore of the sea, sculpted into smooth, flowing ridges by the wind, glowing warm gold in the light of the setting sun. The dunes sweep down to meet the calm sea, and the low light casts long, soft shadows in the rippled sand. The air is warm and still. From the crest of a dune, you can see the great expanse of golden sand meeting the deep blue evening sea. There is a quiet, spacious calm to this place, where the desert meets the ocean, and to stand on the soft, warm sand in the fading light, the gentle sea beyond, is to feel your thoughts grow wide and slow and still. Now we drift out onto the calm waters of the Seto Inland Sea, the gentle sea that lies cradled between Japan's main islands. The water here is smooth and quiet, and scattered across it rest countless small green islands, their forested hills soft and dark against the pale dawn sky. A faint mist lies over the water, and the islands seem to float gently upon it, fading softly into the distance, one behind another. The sea is calm and still, glowing soft silver and rose in the early light. The only sound is the gentle lap of the water, to drift slowly across this tranquil sea at dawn, among the soft green floating islands, the mist drifting quietly over the calm water, is to feel utterly peaceful and gently far away from all the world. Now, as evening gathers over an old temple, we pause to listen to the deep voice of a great bronze bell. The temple bell hangs in its wooden tower, vast and ancient, and as the light fades, a monk swings the wooden beam slowly against it, and a single deep note sounds, low and resonant, rolling out across the misty valley. The sound swells and lingers and slowly fades, humming softly into the gathering dusk, until at last only silence remains. Then, after a long, quiet pause, the bell sounds once more. There is something deeply calming in that slow, deep, fading note, ringing gently out over the quiet land. To stand here in the soft dusk, listening to the old bell sound and fade and sound again, is to feel your breathing slow and your heart grow still. Now we wander up a quiet mountain path on the outskirts of Kyoto, beneath tall cedars and stone lanterns. The path climbs gently through the cool forest, worn smooth by long use, lined with old moss-covered stone lanterns that have stood here for centuries. The cedars rise tall and straight on either side, and the soft light falls dappled and green through their high branches. The air is cool and fragrant and still. A small mossy shrine rests beside the path. There is no one else here, only the quiet of the forest and the gentle rhythm of your own slow steps. To climb slowly along this peaceful old path, the green light filtering down, the ancient lanterns standing silent in the moss, is to feel the deep, patient calm of the mountain forest settle gently over you. Now night has come to a small onsen town tucked among the snowy mountains. Snow lies thick upon the rooftops and the narrow streets, and soft lanterns glow warmly along a small river that runs quietly through the heart of the town. Steam drifts up from the baths into the cold night air, and the warm lights shimmer on the dark, moving water. People in soft cotton robes wander slowly between the inns, their footsteps muffled by the snow. The whole town is hushed and gentle, wrapped in steam and snowfall and warm lamplight. To wander these quiet, snowy lanes in the soft glow of the lanterns, the river murmuring darkly beneath the snow, the steam rising slowly into the night, is to feel completely, deeply at rest. Now we return one last time to Mount Fuji, beneath a sky full of stars. The night is clear and cold and very still, and the great mountain rises black and serene against a sky scattered thick with stars. Below, a calm lake mirrors the dark shape of the mountain and the faint glittering of the heavens. There is no sound at all. The stars wheel slowly overhead, ancient and patient, and Fuji stands beneath them, as it has for longer than any memory, silent and eternal and calm. To stand here in the cold, starlit dark, gazing up at the sacred mountain beneath the endless stars, is to feel both wonderfully small and wonderfully at peace, held gently in a vast and quiet night. Now we come to a Zen courtyard in the soft hush of falling rain. The garden is simple, a careful arrangement of raked gravel, smooth-placed stones, and soft green moss, framed by the dark wood of an old temple. The gentle rain falls steadily, darkening the stones and the gravel, beading on the moss, and dripping softly from the curved temple eaves into a small stone basin below. The sound of the rain is even and soothing, a soft and endless whisper all around. The air is cool and clean, and smells of wet stone and earth. To sit quietly on the temple veranda, sheltered and warm, watching the gentle rain fall upon the simple garden, listening to its soft and steady song, is to feel your mind grow as quiet and clear as the rain-washed stones. Now we stand at the edge of a great garden, so beautifully composed that it is framed like a painting by the window of an old wooden hall. Through the open square of the window, you gaze out upon a perfect scene. A still pond, soft green hills, carefully placed pines, and a small waterfall, all arranged with such grace that it seems less like a real garden than like a living work of art. The light is soft and golden. The garden is utterly silent and still. As you sit quietly on the cool wooden floor, gazing through the window at this perfect framed view, the world beyond it falls completely away, and there is only the quiet beauty before you, drawing your every thought into gentle, peaceful stillness. Now it is autumn once more, and we walk a quiet shrine approach carpeted with fallen leaves. A long path leads gently toward an old wooden shrine, lined on either side with stone lanterns and tall trees whose leaves have turned to gold and crimson. The fallen leaves lie thick and soft upon the path, glowing warm in the low afternoon light, and they whisper gently underfoot as you walk. More leaves drift slowly down around you, turning in the still air. The shrine waits quietly at the end of the path, ancient and serene. The air is cool and smells of earth and autumn. To walk slowly along this golden leaf-strewn path toward the silent old shrine, the leaves drifting softly down all around, is to feel a tender, peaceful melancholy, gentle and sweet. Now we follow a clear mountain river into a gorge ablaze with autumn color. Steep wooded slopes rise on either side, and the maples that cover them have turned the most brilliant shades of scarlet and orange and gold, glowing like flame against the deep blue autumn sky. The river runs clear and gentle over its pale stones far below, and here and there the bright leaves drift down to float upon the moving water. A small wooden bridge arches across the gorge. The air is cool and crisp and clean. To stand on the bridge, the river murmuring below, the blazing autumn forest rising all around you, the bright leaves drifting down upon the water, is to feel surrounded by a beauty so quiet and so vivid that every other thought falls gently away. Now we rise above the old city of Kyoto in the soft mist of early morning. From a quiet hillside, you look out over the city as it sleeps, and you see the dark, curved roofs of countless temples and the green of the wooded hills, all wrapped in a soft white morning mist that drifts gently through the valleys. Here and there, a pagoda rises above the mist, and the first pale light touches the distant mountains. The city is hushed and still, only just beginning to wake. The air is cool and damp and fragrant. To stand here in the quiet dawn, gazing out over the misty roofs and temples of this ancient, gentle city, is to feel the deep and patient peace of 1,000 quiet mornings rising softly all around you. Now we come, at last, to a quiet meditation hall, as our long journey through Japan draws gently toward its close. The hall is simple and serene, floored with soft tatami, its tall paper screens glowing faintly with the last soft light of the day. A thin curl of fragrant incense rises slowly into the still air, its gentle smoke drifting and turning in the quiet. The room is empty and peaceful and utterly silent. You kneel, or you lie back upon the soft mats, and you let your breathing grow slow and deep and even, in and out, matching the deep stillness of the room. There is nothing to do here, nothing to think. Only the soft glow of the screens, the gentle scent of incense, and the deep and perfect quiet drawing you slowly down toward sleep. And now, as our journey ends, we return one final time to Mount Fuji, rising serene above a soft sea of clouds at the very first light of dawn. You are high on a quiet slope, and far below, a vast and gentle sea of white cloud stretches to the horizon, and from it, alone and perfect, rises the snow-capped peak of Fuji, glowing the softest pink and gold as the sun lifts slowly into the sky. All is silent. The clouds drift gently far below. The sacred mountain stands serene and eternal in the growing light. To stand here at the end of our journey, above the clouds, watching Japan's most sacred mountain wake gently in the dawn, is to feel a deep and quiet peace fill you completely, soft and warm and whole. And now, our journey through Japan comes gently to its end. Tonight we have wandered far. We have walked beneath 1,000 red gates and through forests of ancient cedar, rested in warm, hot springs beneath the falling snow, and stood among cherry blossoms drifting softly onto still water. We have seen temples mirrored on quiet ponds, gardens hushed beneath the snow, and the sacred mountain glowing in the dawn. You don't need to hold on to any of it. Let it all drift away now, as gently as cherry petals upon a quiet stream. But perhaps, as you lie here, you can keep one small and quiet thought. The people of Japan have long understood something gentle and true, that the most beautiful things are often the most fleeting. The cherry blossoms that bloom for only a few short days, the autumn leaves that fall, the snow that melts. They find a soft and tender beauty in the very fact that these things do not last. And so it is with this day, and with this moment, and with you. You are part of that same gentle passing beauty, here and quiet and alive, beneath the same moon that shines now over those distant temples and mountains. You are not separate from all of it. You belong to it, softly and completely. Somewhere right now, in Japan, snow is falling silently on an old temple roof. Steam is rising from a quiet, hot spring into the cold night air. A single blossom is drifting down onto still water. And here, in this moment, you are safe and warm and exactly where you need to be. So let your breathing slow. Let your body grow heavy and soft. Let every last thought drift away, like a petal carried gently on a calm and quiet stream. If you happen to still be awake, you're always welcome to drift along to the next quiet journey whenever you're ready. But for now, there is nowhere to go and nothing to do but rest. Sleep well, traveler. Thank you for wandering through Japan with me tonight. Good night.